Stand by. Roll it.
From WCHS-TV 8 Charleston, with bureaus in Paintsville.
Live from the Huntington and Charleston news centers, the region's #1 news.
This is Action News.
Whether you get your news from Channel 8, Channel 3, or Channel 13, there are reasons you choose one over another. And while each station spends untold dollars trying to attract and keep you, the viewer, the bottom line is to present news in a clear, informative style. Unlike other jobs, there is no tomorrow in this business. We can't put a story off until the morning. It must be ready by 6 o'clock. And the competition among newsrooms to be first is fierce.
For a top 45 market, that Charleston is a little better than average. It isn't as good as it could be, in my estimation.
TV news has taken its share of criticism over the years, and it's the news director that has the overall responsibility for what you see at home.
You have to have a commitment from management. It's very refreshing when you work for an operation that understands that news is expensive, and it does take money to have a good on-air product.
The role of the news director is to continue to impress upon management the need for the news operation to move ahead. The newsroom that's standing still is the newsroom that's losing ground on the competition.
I think the function of a news director is to guide a news operation into first place in a market.
It's a never-ending challenge. News directors are constantly faced with dollar limitations while trying to bring you the best product. Tomorrow we'll take a look at how we gather news and why some stories make the air and others don't. Alan Cohen, WCHS-TV, News 8.
Stand by. Roll it.
It all begins here in the newsroom with a story idea. We have many news sources.
Car 12, go ahead.
The police scanner, countless press releases, several wire services, and phone calls from you. Stories are logged on a board, and it's up to the assignment editor to keep track of the day.
My basic responsibility is to send reporters and photographers out on the day-to-day assignments, deciding what's going to be covered, who's going to cover it, what times. I'm basically a traffic cop of the newsroom.
Our stories are recorded and edited on cassettes, much like one you would use in a home recorder. We use 3/4-inch videotape, not film. And unlike film, the cassettes can be reused many times. And it's all done under the pressure of a ticking clock. Reporters and photographers are on a constant deadline.
Cars break down, equipment breaks down, it frustrates you. But there's also a great deal of challenge. I mean, just think how boring it'd be if you went through the day and everything worked perfectly.
There's a lot of pressure, involved in the job. And this is a competitive market. So sure, this is a day and night, live with it all the time job.
We write our own stories, and it requires careful editing and re-editing to ensure accuracy. No grammatical or factual error can go unchecked. After the script is written, we record the audio or voice.
Lester says he understands Trumka won't hold new talk.
Then the video or pictures are put in place. It usually takes at least an hour to edit an average story of about 1:30. These are what the pictures look like before you see them at home. And things don't always go according to plan.
And on February 17th, it's stuck.
But somehow it all comes together. Around 5 o'clock it gets pretty hectic in the rush to get stories ready for 6. Tomorrow we'll take a look at how it all comes together into what you see at home. Alan Cohen, WCHS-TV, News 8.
It could happen to your children. For a moment, you're not.
Stand by. Roll it.
State Board of Education. Okay, all day long, reporters and photographers have been gathering facts.
I got your press release in the mail about
talking on the phone and shooting pictures. Now it's showtime, and it's the producer's responsibility to get it all together.
What stories are we going to put where? How are they going to all flow together so that people, when they're watching, get an idea as things kind of mend together and everything molds into a certain form. You don't just throw it out there, hopefully, at least.
It's a frenetic pace. Where's the tape? Where's the script? Where's the news feed?
We've got about 50 seconds to play with here.
Color bars, ME2. Okay, it's already set up.
Finally, it's 6 o'clock, and the show must go on.
Cue.
This is News 8.
Good evening, I'm Mary Sue Jackson.
And I'm Tom McGee. Welcome to News 8 at 6. It could happen
To your children, for a moment, you're not sure where they are.
then the next thing you know, they're missing. Local police departments tell us it's a growing problem.
During the show, the director's the guy in charge, and it takes the combined efforts of many people to pull it all off.
Joining the search.
From now on, customer...
The pressure, it's, you know, everybody says, oh, the pressure, it's too much. But the pressures are just large or bigger than life because you have to make decisions like that. I mean, you don't have time to sit down and think what's right. You just have to make your decision and go.
Fred, you see that out, Q?
And sometimes things get a little crazy.
Because those three youngsters have really given us a lift this year.
Roll it. Roll number...
A tape is stuck. Rich isn't on the air, but in seconds he will be.
All right. Roll it when you get it. Cue him. Now, here's a guy who's done a pretty good job this week. His name is Jesse Peterson.
Meanwhile, here's what you were seeing at home.
All right, forget it.
Give him a no tape coming. It's coming. It's up.
Moments later, order was restored. Fortunately, that doesn't happen every night, but it can get pretty nerve-wracking. Tomorrow, the role of the consultant. Alan Cohen, WCHS-TV, News 8.
Coming back to the floor. Tighten him up. Tighten him up. Coming back to the floor.
Now, with professional boxing making an appearance. Danger in the ring. Dave Wigley examines a part of the fight game recently brought to light by the American.
Stand by. Roll it.
The American public has become very news conscious. They've become very news hungry, almost news junkies. And if they don't get what they want from Channel 8, they're going to exercise their right as a critic, turn it over to Channel 3, Channel 13.
News directors are aware of that. News doesn't look the way it does by magic. TV stations spend thousands annually on outside consultants to improve their on-air look.
Whoever's going to read first, whether it's Mary Sue or Tom, should be looking forward.
Channel 3 and 8 currently use consultants. Channel 13 does not. They help us with everything from writing to delivery, even what to wear, how to look, and what makeup to use.
A consultant's role is still fundamentally good journalism. We work on some cosmetic things, we work on presenters, we work on graphics, but the whole purpose of what we do is clearer communication, because when the audience understands the news, they're going to watch it consistently.
And news directors are keenly aware of that.
Being first on the air helped, no doubt about that. But I believe that only lasts for a certain period of time. And after that, if you don't have a good quality product, somebody else is going to come along like WCHS or WOWK and possibly do a better job.
People, when they watch television, want to see something that is nice looking, but they also want it to be right.
And it's the consultant that helps the news director improve the product.
If I felt that we had put on the best newscasts that we possibly could under the conditions of that particular day, then it was a good day. So the frustration comes in when we put on a newscast that's not as good as we could have put on. That's when it eats you up.
Tomorrow night, we hear from you and take a look at some special effects. Alan Cohen, WCHS-TV, News 8.
Stand by. Roll it.
Here I go for weather.
I like the weather the best.
I'd like to see better weather.
Everyone likes weather, and all 3 stations in our area use computerized weather graphics to simplify the presentation and make it visually appealing. WCHS gets their national maps from a company that distributes computerized weather graphics. Information is fed through phone lines and into a computer, which allows Janice to create local maps and graphics. And she programs a sequence, so while on the air she can call up maps in order. This is what you see at home, but here's what it really looks like.
Late tomorrow night we'll begin to see clouds increasing and
It's a special effect. The camera sees all colors but green, and through the switcher in the control room the director can superimpose graphics over the green board. So now you wonder how Janice sees the maps. Take a look.
There's a very large area of thick clouds and heavy precipitation.
But weather is just one aspect that interests you.
I think there's too much sports and not enough news.
I don't like a lot of the bad publicity that the chemical industry is getting in the valley.
I think all stations have a tendency to go too much for spatial features.
I think sometimes the news media can often get people to think differently.
We'll never satisfy everyone in our viewing area. In most cases, the decision on a news story are obvious. The story calls out for coverage.
There are probably a zillion stories out there, and somebody has to make the decision as to which stories we will cover and which ones we aren't. And in making those decisions, we have actually decided, I guess, what is news and what isn't.
Much as we try in this business, we're never going to please everybody. But our first responsibility is to you, the viewer. And while we try and remain objective and accurate, just remember, things aren't always as they look on television. Alan Cohen, WCHS-TV, News 8.